Our next movie is named A Dry White Season, and it tells the story of a white South African, an Afrikaner, who was a sports hero and now is a schoolmaster and is pretty good at turning a blind eye to the injustices in his society. He's comfortable, his family is happy, and so why should he rock the boat? But then one day the son of the black gardener that works for him disappears, and then the gardener also disappears while searching for his son. It appears that both of them have died in prison, and so finally the white man gets involved.
Will you take me to the funeral? Are you crazy? That's no place for you, man.
That's Donald Sutherland as the white South African and Zakes Mokai as a black activist in the struggle against apartheid. As Sutherland continues to get more deeply involved in the case, he alienates his family, especially his wife, played by Janet Sussman.
A drunken Kaffir and an Afrikaner traitor. You deserve each other.
Sutherland goes to a well-known white lawyer for advice, a legendary barrister played by Marlon Brando. This is Brando's first film appearance since 1980, and his character takes a wicked delight in playing with the government witnesses.
Would you have this court believe that this man tried to throw himself through the window forwards, and being frustrated in that effort, he turned himself round and with great force threw himself backwards toward the window?
Evidently.
But would you care to demonstrate that for this court?
A Dry White Season tells a simple story of how a man finds that he can no longer close his eyes to the injustices of the society he lives in, but it contains a lot of information about South Africa, too, about the lifestyles of the whites and blacks and the strange way in which the ruling segment is able to live in isolated comfort and never really confront the daily realities of the non-whites in their midst. There have been two other major films recently about South Africa, Cry Freedom and A World Apart, but this one does a better job of showing the whole spectrum of South Africa and not just a few white dissenters. It's a powerful and important film, and I thought Donald Sutherland was just right in his performance as an ordinary man who stubbornly demands answers for his questions.
Well, I think that the material is familiar to a lot of us. We know the subject fairly well. I thought what was special about it is that the director really confronted us with the brutality. Didn't shy away from it, pushes the edge of it, shows us children being harmed and badly beaten up, shows us adults and their bodies decomposing and cut up. And I thought that that kind of confrontation was very smart. That it shouldn't be movie injuries happening to people, but let it look bloody, let people see what's happening and who's dying. And I thought that was what made the film a little more urgent than just a traditional
This movie was directed by a 32-year-old woman from Martinique named Usan Palsy, who made a movie a few years ago called Sugar Cane Alley in Martinique that we both thought was one of the really best movies we'd seen in that year, as I recall. What she does in both movies is she is able to involve us in the daily lives of the characters. She sees these people. She doesn't just see a story in which she's manipulating them for some effect. She sees how they feel, how they live, how they talk. And more than in most movies she sees, that I've seen from South Africa, she sees how the black people live and how their daily lives are constructed, instead of just as in Cry Freedom, showing them in the maid in the kitchen or the person down at the end of the street. She puts them right up there on the screen.
Yeah, there is a documentary-like approach to her pictures, and I think it serves this subject very, very well.